Well. Hello, everybody. This is Tetsu and Ibrahim on BioBridge. We talk about connecting Japan and the rest of the world, and we have obviously another special guest with us today. We're going to talk about something pretty, kind of different this time. Something on the lines of longevity, which is something that everybody loves, but it's mostly invested only in the U.S. And where do people live the longest in the world? Japan. So we have our special guest today, who's got quite a lot of experience designing what's called digital innovation ecosystems. So some of these have been works with the UN. So she's got I think this is called the Victoria City. Our guest will talk about that for us today. But welcome, Victoria. Um, Thank you for bringing your expertise and your experience to our country, Japan. And you are in Japan, so let's just start off right away. Who are you, and what kind of experience, and what are you bringing to Japan? This is exciting stuff. I can't contain myself, but I hope it comes out of your mouth.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tetsu and Ibrahim, for having me. I'm really happy to be here. I think I've been in Japan now for almost a year, coming in and out. But just a little bit about me. I am the co-founder of Unchained Biomedical, which is my company working in Japan. But I'm also one of the co-organizers of a pop-up city that we're doing called Mirai Tech City, which we'll talk about in a second.
Yes.
Um, I've been working with innovation ecosystems for over 10 years, mainly with the United Nations and my own companies. So there has been a lot of like soft landing and getting like stakeholders to organize and support entrepreneurs. There has been a lot of like focus on the entrepreneurial side and how do you like under the premise that the more entrepreneurs you have, as like they're supported from idea stage all the way to scale up, you do get more innovation, and that means that you get more development and wealth for the whole country. That's kind of like the basis.
Is
So
that what you call a pop up city? Like that's not something, I
that's
guess.
what you call an
Or
digital innovation ecosystem. Like just
okay,
like that
all right.
premise of like, how do you create wealth like within a country? A pop-up city is like the like almost like the first stage that accelerates that those initial connections.
Okay. So we're talking that. Okay, pop
Yeah,
up is smaller. You're talking really high level right now. Okay.
yeah. So that's kind of like what I've been doing. So when you're talking about a pop-up city, it's more like so the first thing that one of the first things and the main things that you want to do every time you go to a new place is understand who's in your who are the stakeholders, who's in your ecosystem. So it's almost like ecosystem mapping. And so those conversations, as you've seen, like the way that, for example, like I've met you, Tetsu, of like through someone, you kind of accelerate all of that into one place. So you have very, very smart people, we call them builders, into one small-ish area. When I say small-ish areas, that you want to generate as much density as possible, because the most relevant or the most impactful part of this are almost like those corridor conversations, which you get a lot in, like if you go to Silicon Valley, for example, you have this, or like these innovation places that you have all those entrepreneurs getting together and having those conversations, and from there there's a lot of magic that happens. So that's what a pop-up city tries to do. And then the pop-up city has some sort of structure into it. So generally speaking, a pop-up city in general would have, I don't know, like it would be like a week is focused on this side, or a week is focused on biotech. In the case of our pop-up city, is only focused in longevity, biomedical, and human enhancement. So it's all about how do we live longer, better lives in, like you say it perfectly, like the best place where you can do this is Japan. Like I don't see anywhere at this stage where
Okay.
like, yeah, and
Listen.
the structure that we bring is more like, okay, so like how do we accelerate you coming to Japan? So how do we organize
Yes.
those
Okay.
conversations, partnerships, and get you like connected?
I was just gonna say it because conceptually it sounds very simple. Bring
Yeah.
the people who have the similar interests and skills aligned in one place. Of course,
Mm.
it sounds very simple conceptually, but the execution must be intense. I can just imagine, bringing all these experts, not just within Kobe, or which is where you're building this, but also within Japan and even internationally. Uh,
Mhm.
all these layers sounds like a lot of work. but you have the experience. Tell me a little bit about your past experience, whether it's Viva City, Viva Bay. Those are sort of a few that I've heard, but
yeah. So, like I said, I've been working with innovation ecosystems and building them for over 10 years. My last project with the UN, we built 17 acceleration centers in 16 countries.
My goodness.
And it has a similar concept but more permanent, which I find quite funny because they're very different worlds, right? You have the entrepreneurial world, like only like longevity, and then you have like the UN, which is more like government, but nevertheless it was actually quite similar. So I was invited to build Vitalia back like 2 years ago. It's been a while in Honduras. Okay. I never thought I was going to go to Honduras. And yeah, it was intense. It was very intense.
I got to stop you here because I met somebody at JP Morgan this January, and he talked to me about like a development zone in Honduras. And I'm thinking Honduras at JP Morgan in the biotech world, or like, what is this? And we got into quite a deep discussion. It was really fun. Juan Pablo, shout out to Juan Pablo if he's listening to this. But I've been wanting to find a way and to connect my world, Japan, to Honduras. I mean, it's obviously not the simplest link. And then I meet you, who've done this in Honduras, and suddenly I'm getting super excited. You are in Japan. You are a link between Japan and your past experience. So first, why Honduras would do that, and why where you are right now, Kobe? Why Kobe and not Tokyo or Osaka? Osaka's pretty close, but
yeah,
why Kobe?
I think I'm just going to drop a little like bump there as well. So one of the co-founders of Italia, he's helping organize he's one of the co-organizers of Mirai Tech City, and also he's one of the co-founders of my company. So, and he's from Honduras. So he's actually from Honduras. I'm not from Honduras.
Loving it.
Yeah. So why Honduras? So one thing that I found very interesting as an experiment, so all of my work, because it was done with like the UN and governments in Europe, it has been kind of like you go to the government and it's a long process to get anything done. So I was very curious by the concept of a special economic zone or a special development zone in this case, where it's almost like the other way around. It's like you start to create your regulations and ecosystem around what you're doing. So it's almost like you're flipping the model of how you create regulations. Now, after that, so for many, many reasons, it didn't work out. So Vitalia, unfortunately, stopped. But afterwards, one of the things that the reason why there's so many reasons why Japan is so interesting is Japan. It's not like they have a similar model because it's very different in like how it structurally works. But Japan has something that are called the National Strategic Special Zones, and this is actually where we're doing the Mirai Tech City in one of them that specializes in biotechnology. So what's interesting about Japan, which I think is far more meaningful, so there's different type of special zones. So you hear that like Cayman Islands, they're taxes, and then you have like the more developing ones. So Japan has that. And I think like the beautiful thing and very unique thing about Japan in terms of special zones is that they, like in Quebec, for example, like they allow you to have special like carve-outs in like taxes and things like that, but they also allow you to put through almost like work it as a sandbox. So instead of having like a national law like all together, you can have like a little experiment in a space with the intention that this, if it works, it can become national. And this happened with Fukuoka, which I think is like the coolest example. So I had never seen in my entire life as a country that allows you to have like for visa. So they allowed for a special visa to be under that special zone, which I think is very unique, because if you say that in the US, that's on a federal level, is like that wouldn't happen. And then that worked out. And now the startup visa has been rolled out across the country. So that, for me, that is true impact. And that's like one of the huge things about, it's like outside of biotech, but that's one of the huge things about Japan from the government side, because it allows you to do things faster and test without like safely and regulated in a small space. So that is very unique, very startup.
Japan, the traditional, the non-changing image of Japan, I think, has to be thrown out pretty soon. With all these different initiatives in all aspects of entrepreneurship and within our world, the life sciences, there's loads of initiatives, and government is backing it quite a lot with a lot of funding. So you've benefited from that from a little bit of a different angle, but still, it's all pushing Japan forward, and I would say sort of putting Japan back on the world map. It kind of faded out in the past few decades, unfortunately, but I think it's coming right back. And you mentioned KBIC. For those who don't know what KBIC is, you're in a special zone. It's a pretty special place. Maybe tell us a little bit about how what your impression of KBIC is.
I do want to ask something as well that kind of adds to this. And pardon my ignorance in these terminologies and whatnot, because I'm kind of new to like pop-up city and whatnot. And what's interesting to me is, like, I guess you've been creating innovation ecosystems for the last 10 years, but we've gone through COVID in the meantime, and a lot of the world has become virtual, right? So, and you kind of mentioned corridor conversations and whatnot, and how is like this physical zones now working with these virtual connections, and like, I guess, in a way, like, how does that tie to KBIC as well, and the importance of physical, perhaps, proximity in creating these ecosystems and pop-ups to really blossom something?
Tremendous question.
Yeah. So a pop-up is just the first stage where you start getting people together and do that like initial interest. Because people, like right now, for example, everyone's really excited about Japan, but they really don't know about beyond what you know and do through like tourism. They don't really know what they can build. Those I think like, to your question, especially in Japan, like those in-person interactions, they're never substituted by online. Like I'm a strong, like I recognize, and I really like the importance of online conversations, and also like how much easier and accessible you make things. But those in-person relationships, that I don't, in my opinion, they cannot be. It's impossible. It's not. You will not have those natural conversations in any other way. And this is why the pop-ups become, in that sense, so incredible, because you're creating density of people in one space with a united purpose. And so you're going to be, it's a very unique moment where it's beyond like a little like conference. It's people having breakfast with you and doing workshops and creating things with you as well, because that happens a lot.
I would argue people appreciate the in-person events more, not less, since COVID.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I also think so too. I think people started to miss, like everyone got Zoom. What's it called? Zoom exhaustion. What's it called? Is that how people were calling it?
Zoom fatigue, I think.
Fatigue, that was it. That was it. Yeah, and so that can never, and that's something that's also very unique in Silicon Valley. Like there's a tower that I worked also in a pop-up city called Viva City with one of the co-founders of Vitaly as well, the one of the other co-founders, who's also helping us as well. So we're all here in Japan. And it's in a tower called Frontier Tower. This tower, the unique thing that it has is those corridor conversations, because people just go there to have breakfast, lunch, and do, like, just be together. And the amount of companies and new projects that have come out of those conversations have been incredible. One of them is actually called, they're coming to Japan. They're called Vibe Coding Nights. So it's this like really cool, smart guy that he came to the pop-up city. He didn't know about like the ecosystem of AI in San Francisco. He got in love with how people were pushing the boundaries, the people that he met, and now he has his own company raising investment and traveling all over the world with his project. So like these are the sort of things that we see happening over and over again. And also he found his like business partner to do that. Like it's been amazing. But just to talk a little bit about KBIC. So KBIC is a very cool and unique space. So it's one of the most comprehensive and largest clusters in biomedical in Japan. Now, the cool thing is that it was built after a horrible earthquake about 25 years ago. And they created this like man-made island. So it's all new. And then it's has academia, it has organic companies, private sector, and it has hospitals and the regulators. So you actually have everything is like within a 15-minute walk. So if you're talking about creating density of space, like that's like a beautiful example of that. So you'll have like Eli Lilly, like really close by or Bayer, but then at the same time, you're gonna have like one of like the best hospitals in Japan just there. There's a building that we're working with we're doing a residency throughout the pop-up, bringing companies from the US and the West to build in Japan with Kobe University. And we're doing it in this like beautiful building that the whole concept is that you have like the place where you prototype and do experiments, and right next to it you have a hospital, so they can come to the space, 3D print a valve or something that you need for a surgery, and then just go to the clinic. Like it's and that's kind of like what you're looking for, this like interactions. And with the pop-up, you just bring all those people together. So Quebec, it's very, very interesting. And then of course it's in Kobe, which we were just saying is like the one of the Latinos of Japan. They're just
well, the whole Kansai region, right?
the Kansai, like lively people. They're beautiful. I was just like you need to speak Japanese to have fun. So I think it's a very unique space.
Yeah, you should know that all the most 90, I would say maybe 80-90% of the comedians in Japan come from Tokyo. They actually come, a lot of them from the Kansai region, and then various regional cities.
So given that you've been in Japan for a year, is your Japanese Kansai ben then?
Is my what, sorry?
Is your Japanese primarily Kansai ben that you've learned in the last year?
No, unfortunately not.
Because that would be pretty funny.
I can't understand Osaka accent.
Oh, nice.
I can't. I wish I could, but I cannot. I can understand better. Not necessarily the Kansai accent. But I'm trying.
Have you learned to slap people on the forehead?
I've learned the bang bang, which I haven't.
Yes, I was just gonna ask if you know. Ibrahim, do you know when people say bang?
But I haven't
actually no.
I haven't done it right.
That is a new one for me.
The bang bang.
How
is it called? You just go and like do bang and then they go pop.
Yeah. And everybody, you're obligated to just pretend you got shot.
Really?
Otherwise, they take your passport away.
Now I'm exposed to my Kanto.
That's right.
Upbringing. Yes.
Yeah, I never knew that. I saw that on a program, and I didn't believe it at first, but I actually saw that in Osaka. So it's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's true.
Sorry for the digression. I just had to ask.
I've been to Quebec once. Really, I mean, like you say, they've built it to make it concentrated, very close to the airport. It's like a 15-minute ride. So it's very practical. So you could live in Tokyo and get there, very easily for a morning meeting, and go back the same day, etc. But you've been there for a while now. What do you think about that? The whole infrastructure. You seemed impressed, But what do you see in like 1 year, 5 years? I don't know how this thing. Have you seen it develop over the past few months? Is that going to something really significant? Because I see them at JP Morgan, at Bio, they're out there, really promoting the K-Bake game. So I mean, kudos. They're really out there in the US.
Yeah. So I mean, like, there's no way I have seen like progression. I can tell you about progression of our relationships, but not necessarily of like the cluster. I think so. There's very interesting people working there that really want to have more entrepreneurs, and I think that's a bit of a national the goal. Like, we need to have more entrepreneurs. We need to have more, and they're really trying to figure that out. I think, like, along with a lot of Japan. I've had conversations with people, professors that are. I actually I'm very surprised about how open-minded and willing to like help they are. I think that's something that is quite surprising. I think something that is quite surprising about So I think something that is quite surprising, at least like to me and possibly to other foreigners, is that I think the perception of Japan is that it's slow and non-collaborative and all of these things. Like that's the perception, and I think that could be the case if you don't know how to approach the ecosystem. So there's something that is like the click moment. I think in Japan, that is, it takes you a while to be able to get with the right people, but once you do, all of a sudden everything just snowballs because everyone starts working together to help you, and the whole thing just accelerates. So I feel like getting to that point is the difficult part. And this is what people get, especially if you're a fun, because in the US it's kind of, hey, how are you? You're doing this. Oh my God, that's so cool. Okay, great. Let's work together. Boom, done. Here, the process, like there's pros and cons, right? When you're doing that, you also expose yourself to more like problems that can come ahead, but also, you also expose yourself to like a lot of amazing things to happen. I think on the Japanese side, what has been quite surprising is that it takes you a while. And I know there's a lot of people that get frustrated because they don't know how to get into who you want to talk to and what you want to do. But once you do that, it's almost like the way of working in Japan of like, it's not like I'm working with KBIC. It's like we're working with KBIC, Kobe City. We have the other department and the other department, everyone in one room. We're just talking about it and trying to share what we want to do and our thoughts. And I think that's very unique and special that I haven't seen happen anywhere else. It's a very unique way of working, and then everything just starts snowballing. And then, so that's something that I found very interesting in that sense.
It's good because yes, traditionally and still, Japan is relatively slow compared to the US, even though it's relatively fast compared to the past Japan. But it's moving in the right direction. The big pharmas and those big guys, it's still slow. But the smaller, they're pushing these small entrepreneurship to the max, and part of that is going fast. And there's a lot of government initiatives. I mean, the whole Japanese government, starting with the prime minister, is backing the life sciences as a very, very important economic focus. So it can only get better from this point, right?
Yeah, I think from the, at least like right now, KBIC, is not necessarily like built. Even though they want to have entrepreneurs right now, I feel like there's a lot of blockers still within, like for entrepreneurs to come in, and they have to do with like taxes and structure and system of like the way that the debt system works. But I do see these things changing. I think one thing that has KBIC, and I mean like there's other special zones like Tsukuba, and like it's that they'll have the opportunity to test different things to kind of like lower those like entry barriers for the startups. Because for big pharma and like medium pharma, I think it's fine. And you see that like these like big companies are using the Japanese like infrastructure and regulations like all the time, because if they lose like 3 million, it's not like the end of the world. But for a startup, of course, it's more difficult. So, but I do see these things changing, and there's a lot of will to try to change that as well, improve it rather.
Yes,
that's what I would say in the next. Also, of course, we're going to have a lot of new foreigners and talented people coming in, so it's going to be like a million times better.
One of the things that Tetsu started this conversation out in the introduction was longevity. So is KBIC specifically focused on certain topics?
KBIC is biomedical. So you have therapies, you have medtech. I think Japan, which is quite funny what you were talking about, Tatsu, is actually they're not like till recently. When I say till recently, till the last few months, they haven't really like talked about longevity. So like Singapore talks about healthy longevity. Here you're starting to hear about healthy longevity.
That's my impression too. To hear it from you, confirms my impression. For the country that lives, has the longest average lifespan, longevity is not talked about quite as much as Boston. Like I hear about longevity all the time when you're in Boston. But
I think the focus might be more on like rejuvenation or like satiety or yeah.
But I think also something to bear in mind is that also the longevity term and idea is it's quite new. Actually, one of the people like in the West, one of the professors in the West that like started to like really push for it, and at the beginning they're like, "Oh, he's crazy! Like we're not gonna live forever. We can't live that longer." It's Aubrey de Grey who's joining us, and one of the biggest supporters, super excited about Japan. And this like longevity like push is not, it hasn't been for that long either.
It's also very wide, it's one word, but it's very wide. You could, have, it's like, exercise and stuff, natural products could be longevity, or you could study telomeres, it's really cellular molecular biology. It's a very, very wide area of research, I would say.
Yeah.
So
and also
what's your understanding of longevity, and somebody coming new to this longevity field, how would you guide somebody who's like doesn't even know where to start?
Where to start? I would start with Aubrey. Like he's great, and he's probably one of the people that have been like working on this for the longest as well. So he has a foundation, LEV. It stands for Longevity, Escape Velocity, and they do support a lot of research, and so that's a really, I think, good place to start. I think the other thing is to like understand that longevity has some bad rep because you have things. I think like one part that made it like famous with Brian Johnson, and then people start to say, "Oh, this is only for rich people." Like the reality is that longevity, what you're saying, is very broad. It's about living longer and healthier and better lives. So right now it's even including human enhancement. They call it health longevity, but it's ultimately how we live longer and better, healthier lives. Like that's what it is, using science for that. So biohackers are in there. So there's a lot of things that are there. So kind of like be aware that there is some bad rep, but it's just different flavors of it.
So you say longevity is not a big topic quite yet, or at least it's not mainstream in Japan. What is Japan known for, other than people actually living longer? But actually, in terms of research and new information, what is Japan's research in longevity? I guess.
Well, you have the Yamanaka, Professor Yamanaka, and Yamanaka Factory. He's like actually my biggest like one of the most exciting talks, and we haven't invited Yamanaka yet, and I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I would love to have Aubrey talking to Yamanaka.
Oh my goodness,
that would be
so amazing. I'll fly to Japan for that.
Exactly. So, but we still haven't got to Yamanaka yet. Like I said,
I've seen Professor Yamanaka speak, and he's a very good storyteller. Like because he's got long history, but he starts from the very beginning of his lab and how the IPS factors, the 4 factors came about. All that is just fascinating, with a little bit of humor in that.
Yeah.
Listen to him all day
he's
long.
From the Kansai area, so.
Yes.
Of course, right?
Well, on the other side of Kansai, in Kyoto.
Yeah, but yeah, so that, I think that would be like one of the best talks, but we haven't got to, so if anyone knows Yamanaka and would like to help us invite him.
I think I could probably hook you up with that one.
Oh, really?
Let me call him.
Yeah.
I think that would be such a great, because also Aubrey is super funny, he's super nice, so I think it's going to be a great conversation of, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bridge the East and the West, because the more that we're working on this together, the better. And in fact, so just to give you like something, so even though longevity is not mainstream as much, so there's the X Prize. I don't know if you know about the X Prize, the award. It's by Peter Diamandis. It's by like 101. So it's several years, and several companies apply. They have several milestones that they have to go through, and this is in longevity. And the winning organization or the winning company, the winning project, they win 101 million. So they finalists were announced, I think it was like last week, and 5 of them, if I'm not mistaken, are Japanese.
Nice.
Out of 20. In the top 10, there's 2 Japanese companies, and one. They're a really good friend of mine. They're called Mini Circle, and they're coming to Japan, and they're super excited as well. So if you want to meet them, they're going to be there. But yeah, so even though you might not see it like mainstream talking, and still it's a subject that I guess it's taking shape. Japan is already leading in it, as you would expect. At least as I would expect.
Yeah. Okay, listen, we've talked. We're 30 minutes in, and we haven't even really explored this event you're running for about a month in October. We kind of hinted at it a little bit, and then we talked about KVIC, and we should come to Japan, pop-up city. But let's focus just on this event that you're running. Tell us, about it. Who's coming? What is the event itself? Who should join? How can we join?
Yeah. So the event is 30 days where there's going to be people coming in and out as you would do in a normal city. We call them founders. It's going to be researchers, founders, just very smart people together in one place with different areas where you'll be able to find them. So the idea is that we want to have the Japanese community as well involved. We're going to have co-work. So it's just daily life all together, working toward the same purpose, but with different flavors. Then throughout the weeks, we have workshops. So for example, Shojin Meet from Japan is coming to do a workshop. So all very like biotech or in longevity, medtech. So we all have the same goal. It's kind of like, how do we build together in Japan? That's like the purpose. And then the last 10 days, we have summits. So this is where I want to see Yamanaka and Aubrey talking to each other and in a panel, which will be awesome. But we also have about, right now, 50 speakers confirmed from Japan, the US, Europe. So it's a fantastic opportunity not to only like listen to talks, but also to interact with the speakers and with the experts. Because that's the main purpose of this is talking, connecting, collaborating. Like the best thing that can happen is that we have a lot of cross-borders collaborations between Japan, the US, Europe. Like that's the best thing. And bring people as well to see all the beautiful and amazing opportunities that there are in Japan. Like really experience it, not just like, the presumptions that they may have. And there's going to be a group of people are going to be using lab spaces. So a normal day is going to look like we're all having breakfast together in the MIC in Kobe University. So that's our base. We have a base. And then some people go to the lab. The other people go to the co-working space. They work together. They explore. They have tours to the companies around and organizations around the Port Island. Then they probably go to Sanomiya in Kobe to listen to some jazz, because I didn't know that Kobe was big in jazz. And then they go back. So that's kind of what that is. Just a lot of connections and interactions to get magic happen. Put people together in a room and magic will happen.
But so mostly Japanese are going to be there for that month, or local to Kobe? Because I can't imagine, like, I can't just leave my life, and just be in Kobe for a month. It's like an Olympic village type, like you have infrastructure to house the people, or that logistical part I'm not seeing very clearly right now.
So we're going to be there the whole month, but it doesn't mean that people have to be there the whole month. So it's going to be open for people to be. Generally, people are 2 weeks. That's usually what they are. And then they come in and out. So it could be they come 2 weeks and they stay the whole month in Japan, and then they go do other things. But generally, you'll have them in that space for 2 weeks, or hopefully like a bit more. We have a co-work and a place where we have breakfast all together. That's kind of like how the everyday life. So it's almost like a hub. It's like our hub. So we have a hub for a month where we all meet, and then we organize different workshops and events throughout the month. To your question of, is it going to be just Japanese? Is it going to be just where are they going to be from? So there are going to be people coming from abroad, but we're also inviting people from Japan. So hopefully it's going to be a good mix. It's the first time we do this in Japan, so I don't know how many Japanese are going to be able to come. But we're hoping that a lot. So Nucleate, for example, is coming with their students. And we're trying to involve the Japanese community as much as possible. We're collaborating with Koli Fukuoka. So we're putting a big emphasis in bringing the Japanese community, because I think like the US and the Western side is easier because we've been doing this a lot. So we're making a big effort to just make sure that the Japanese community is also involved.
So let's sort of step back a little bit. We've got a lot of concepts that are in today's session. You see right at the bottom, it says, what is Mirai City? Yeah, I have to kind of not fully sure. Mirai City is what you're building at Quebec, and this event for a month, that is there a name for this event? Or is that part of the Mirai City build-up? I don't know. Can you sort of explain a little bit, kind of summarize for our audience?
Yeah. So Mirai Tech City is the name of the project of building a space and having a space for entrepreneurs and founders to come together and build in Japan. The pop-up city is called Mirai Tech Pop-up City because it's the first time that we're going to do it. We're going to be doing this every year, about hopefully around the same time.
Event.
Yes.
Okay, so that is the concept of pop-up city. It's temporary. Yeah. It's 1 month. The Mirai Tech City is a more permanent infrastructure that you're building.
Yeah, but the Mirai Tech City is something that's going to come maybe like in 2 years' time. So it's something that will take time. Yeah. It will be very dependent on many factors. Especially when it comes to location, we're not sure yet where it's going to be. We're hinting, like we know it's going to be in Kansai. That we know. Okay. That's for sure, but we don't know exactly where. The pop-up city is just the first step to get people together to understand the ecosystem. So that's the temporary part of it.
Nice, because a tremendous idea. It's basically an extended event, right? You're taking a place and people are coming in and out, but it's just continuously. It's like a mini Boston. I don't know, maybe if so to speak, right? These very specialized people who are at high concentration. But obviously, to get this running, there's lots of logistics to think about, which is why the place that you choose will be very important. Kansai is good. Fukuoka, maybe. Like my wife's from Nagasaki. I'd love for you guys to be in Fukuoka.
I think to think about it is like it's like a Disney World for a month for longevity and biotechnology. Like how Disney is like a temporary, like it's permanent, right? It's like a city, right? That's there. So just imagine like Disney but only focus on biotechnology for a month, and then you're there, and then you're done, and then as time passes, we'll be able to have our own permanent space. But right now, this is the first touch point of let's get all together.
What's your expectation for this month? I mean, you do it and you'll find out, but you already have experience, right? You've done this before in other cities. I hear from Buenos Aires or that place in Honduras and
And I was gonna ask, how will you measure success?
Yes.
How do you measure success? So the ones that I've done in the past, they tend to have between 300 and 500 people. Even when we did it in Honduras, but bear in mind, it's not like the whole month you have 300 people. It's like there's like peak parts. So the peaks are the summits. So there are the summits you would have that. But then throughout, you have them spread out. So there's like weeks that you have 50 people. There's weeks that you have 100. Like it depends. Or like days. But to me, the best case scenario, the success is not how many people come. It's how many collaborations are created. How many people move part of their operation to Japan.
I'd love for you to do more than that. I'd love for you to get government changes, support, because you've successfully done this or done that, through, for example, collaborations that were fruit of your initiatives. Suddenly, the city of Kobe says, "We're going to sponsor you for this every year," or other cities, Tokyo, Osaka, Fukuoka, could see this and go, "Wow, this is
Yeah.
it's a new model. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Only you have an idea of what's going to happen based on your past experience. But now you're doing it.
We'll see what happens. No, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, like I mean, like that will be amazing because one of the things that we're going to do during this pop-up as well is build the blueprint for longevity regulations. So like, how does it look like for you to be able to have more innovation in longevity? And that's something that we want to, like, part of those, like, want to propose, like, whether to a special economic zone, create like something of our own, or like a sandbox. Like, we're not sure yet how that's going to shape up. It's going to be very dependent on how this goes. But yeah, so for the next years, it'll be amazing if we have government support. Like this time, it has been very bootstrapped. Like the support came really late because we're really new to the ecosystem. So even though I'm saying, oh, once you get there, like everything's snowballing like really late. So for the next year, it's going to be even better, and it'll be amazing if the government is involved. So this is kind of like what we really want.
First time.
It's our first time.
I see a lot of momentum just in the past few weeks that we've known each other. So
yeah,
really go out there and go get them, because you're connected to quite a lot of hub, there's these hub people, very influential people in Japan, and suddenly your network is multiplying very, very quickly. So I'm expecting a lot of success. I'm definitely wishing you a lot of success. And like I said, changing, whether it's policies, government, or you mentioned a little bit, longevity has a bad rep, in Japan. Well, hopefully you get to change that perception and make longevity a mainstay, mainstream item in Japan. Definitely, Japan has so much to offer because they've been there, done that. People live very long. How do you extract that knowledge and share that with the world and put Japan as a world leader in the longevity space? We've got everything we need to do it. So you'll be that key person.
I feel like it's like expansion of the blue zone to like all of Japan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we are very bullish about Japan being the place where we believe this is a place where we can do it. And like me, there's a lot of others in the ecosystem in San Francisco and Europe that are very interested in seeing this happening in Japan. So there's a lot of really cool people in Japan that has been helping us, like you guys. But there's also amazing people from the US and Europe. Yes. So when all of you meet, that's gonna even create more impact. So this is for me what's exciting. Just
for a first-time experience, I think you are the person to lead this initiative. You're doing great. And you say, all these people are helping me. I'm so blessed. But I turn it around and I say, it speaks a lot about who you are, the leadership that you bring. And Japan is lucky to have you. Kobe is lucky to have you. So definitely, I would mention that to Keiko and really. Hopefully they'll really get this off the ground to a tremendous start. So we're gonna have to start wrapping up as usual. Get philosophical about the future, romantic about the future. I think we've been pretty romantic so far for an area that's not mainstream. We're very bullish about your initiatives, and so let's ask you, what do you see in Japan and in the world in the longevity space? Your Mirai City, what is in the future, in a year, 5 years, 10 years? Maybe you'll be a permanent resident in Japan. I don't know. What's coming up?
In the next few years, what's coming up? We're going to have a space where we truly can solve aging and all diseases related to aging. And I truly believe that can happen within the next 5 years. And
Okay.
to have the space to do this.
Yes.
For the space,
But
not the.
the reality is that there is so much technology right now. Like there's technology for people that are blind to see. There's technology for everything. So what we need is to break those silos, get people together, and really innovate and be faster at innovating. And I do believe Japan is the right place to do it. So I would see that in the next 5 years.
Well, you're bringing in some very important people from outside of Japan, and I definitely hope that this will be like you're planting a flag, you're planting your space, and
yeah, we're planting the flag. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, and then these important key opinion leaders will see Japan on the map and come here annually, or biannually, and really have a cross pollination across this bridge that we're building in the longevity space, and you're the one leading the way. So, all right, all your initiatives, where can we find you? How do we get in contact? How do we join that activity that you have for a month? Tell us all the logistics and administrative stuff for people to
Yeah.
join.
So Mirai Tech City, you can go there. Students going for free in Japan. So Japanese students coming for free. We want to make it as easy for Japanese students as possible. And also like Quebec and Kobe. Japanese residents have a special pricing, and you can get your ticket for the whole month or for just weeks. It depends on how you're coming. There's a few options for hotels that we've been able to lock in that are cheaper. Again, this is the first time we do it, so maybe like next year we'll have like a whole hotel rented. But for this year, we did get special prices for people to come. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible for everyone to remove the most amount of friction. Yeah, so Mirai Tech City. You'll have a beautiful co-work to work from, great breakfast every morning, place to talk to people. I mean, that's super important, right? That's for like it's like breaking bread. Breaking bread. That's like exactly. And Japan is
totally true. We laugh about it, but it's totally true. There's even a saying in Japanese, "Onaji kama no meshi o ku." It's eat from the same rice cooker. I don't, for lack of a better Japanese eat rice. I mean, there's just no surprise. I mean, the same rice from the same cooker. It means you've lived the same life, you've same experiences, and you're bonded through those experiences. So definitely breaking bread it's not non-trivial. It's non-trivial.
Absolutely not.
Great experience.
So it'll be fun. Just come and have fun and get to meet people that are doing the same thing that you want. And even if you're curious on what can you do in longevity or like how can you improve your health, it's going to be a great place to learn about that. So.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Definitely hope we'll be on the news tomorrow talking about Mirai Tech City. Everybody go find Victoria Masso on LinkedIn. I'm sure she'll be very glad to hear from you. She'll field any questions and queries that you may have. Thank you, Victoria, for your time. And we'll see you in a week or two. In
a week or two. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.